Welcome to our Tuesday, February 22nd board meeting. If you'd please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, we'll call this meeting to order, and we'll start with Dr. Veracco, the agenda approval, deletions, additions.
Thank you. There are no adjustments to the agenda that you received last week. Seek approval.
Motion to approve?
We have a motion by Ms. Kelly,
Second?
second by Mr. Howard Marshall. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Ms. Kelly, is there any correspondence?
Nothing in particular that I'm going to share, just we do continue to receive and read all of your emails. Keep them coming. We appreciate you sharing your cares and concerns with us.
Thank you. We'll move on to our liaison committee updates. Mr. Marshall.
Thank you. Under Personnel Interview Committee, we do have interviews for the Grimmer principal, or at least for a new principal at Grimmer, starting tomorrow and Wednesday. It'll take a process very similar to what we had for Bibbage. And in regards to Bibbage and the interviewing process, I'll defer that to Mrs. Muka later on when she talks about new hires. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Kelly.
I have nothing new to report from either one of those since our last meeting.
Thank you. Dr. Medlin.
Nothing to report, thank you.
The only thing I have to report is for Dollars for Scholars, the deadline for any senior wanting to submit an application for a scholarship, it expires February 28th. There will be no exceptions. So with that, we'll move on to our official school board business topics consent agenda. Dr. Veracco.
Thank you again, Mrs. Seuss. You do have in your packets minutes from the special meeting on the 7th of February and the regular board meeting. We also seek approval of the claims payroll and extracurricular expenditures that you received. Thank you.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Mr. Marshall,
Second?
second by Ms. Kelly. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Is there any public comments regarding action items? There are none, so we'll move on to our official school board business topics, regular agenda. Dr. Veracco.
Thank you. We'd like to kick off the agenda by inviting Ed Sedano. He is with the new LC Blitz Booster Club for football, and he wants to talk about a donation and some of their activities thus far this year and to update the board and the community on what the LC Blitz is all about. So, Ed.
Thank you, Dr. Veracco. My name is Ed Sedano, part of the LC Blitz Football Booster Club. Today we come bearing gifts, school board, and staff. Sorry, we didn't bring enough for everybody. But what we wanted to do was show appreciation for helping us, guiding us through these last 2 years. I know it's been a bit of a roller coaster, so hopefully this small treat that we're handing you will bring a smile to your face. So far, we've been able to donate $7,500 bags of popcorn to the Tri-Town community. We've done both the Tri-Town Fire Department, Police Department, Community Hospital in Munster, Franciscan Hospital in Dyer. We did the St. John Public Works, Lake Central High School, and now all of you. So we've been working with our fundraising partner, and they gave us 7,500 bags to deliver. At first, it didn't seem like it was going to be enough, but when we filled one of our parent booster garage, we were like, wow, that's a lot. I don't know how we're going to get rid of it. But anyway, we just want to thank you all for what you do for the community. Hopefully this treat will bring your family a smile to their face when you come home. So anyway, as far as our booster club, last time I was here was August of last year. You approved us, and since then we've gone on to do a bunch of new things, right? We bought tailgating back to LC, which was fun, a lot of work, but it was fun. And we've been able to do some community projects with the Cherville and St. John. We partnered with the volleyball program, and we collected pajamas. We donated to the Salvation Army. In 2 weeks, we got a handful of football players who are going to participate in the polar plunge in Chicago. That money that we're raising for them is going to go to Special Olympics. Hopefully it won't be too cold. But anyway, what we're trying to do is make sure that we bring in the right funding for our football program, right? As a public school, we don't always have what we need. So our parents are really motivated and have done a really good job of raising money, even though we're a young club. And we're just looking forward to working with, obviously, you, the athletic department, our football coach, football team, and bring excitement back to Friday night. So that's our big goal. So anyway, thank you very much for your time.
So, was the tailgating successful? Are you bringing that back?
Yes, it was successful.
Oh, good.
Obviously, the last game that we had was cold and windy, so we didn't have people. But throughout the year, we had some good turnouts, and we had some good food vendors that supplied food for people who were interested. Obviously, we don't have enough time to do a real tailgate, right?
Sure.
So with the hour and a half, we brought food vendors in.
Great.
So we were very happy about how that turned out. So we're looking for other opportunities as well to bring, like I said, Friday night experience and make it a big thing in the community. One of the big things that we did was reach out to the community, right? It's a school built for the community, by the community. And what we're trying to do is bring them more into our Friday nights, right? So we went out to them, and sure, we went like this, and they were happy to do it because they said, you know what, we really haven't had that. Thank you for coming out and trying to expose us to Lake Central football. So we were happy about that.
Great.
Good job.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to our Director of Human Resources Personnel, Mrs. Mucha.
Thank you. I am asking for approval for the personnel packet.
Move to approve the personnel packet?
Second?
We have a motion by Dr. Medlin and a second by Mr. Marshall. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
We have a very special guest here tonight, though. We do have, besides a great representation of the Bibbage faculty and principal, we have our new principal with us tonight, Allison. Would you like to stand up and introduce your family to us?
Could you come down to the mic so the people at home can hear you? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Allison Petralia. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I am coming from Maryville, but before I went to Maryville, I was part of the Lake Central family, so I'm so excited for this opportunity. I brought with me my family, my husband, Nick Petralia, who is a graduate of Lake Central, and Dominic is 7, and Annabelle is 5. So they're with me.
Well, welcome back.
Yes, thanks.
And again, thank you to the staff and to Dee Dee for coming tonight. That means a lot. Thank you. My second item is to bring up some people who were instrumental in training our staff in Stop the Bleed. It was going to be led by Jerry, but he had a family emergency, so we have our new birthday person, Brian Kissinger, to come up and introduce the people who helped us with our Stop the Bleed program. Brian?
Did you say birthday?
I might have said that.
Yes, she did. Yes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yesterday, so thank you for having me up here. So I'm going to turn a little bit. So the Stop the Bleed program has been implemented, probably now since the beginning of the school year, and it's a program that is near and dear to all of us up here. So it requires the instructors of firemen, police officers, medical technicians to go through an 8-hour training course to become instructors. And once we became instructors, then we decided that let's get together and work collaboratively through the Tri-Town and getting our fire departments together and the police department and the SROs to bring this program to Lake Central. And so right now, I still have more of a speech, but I want to just make sure that I get the guys up here too. So as I call your name, come on up here. So Chief Joe Martin. So in appreciation, we want to give you a certificate. Oh, you need to do it. Chief Kevin Leduc. He's from the St. John Fire Department. Fireman Jeremy Golick from the Cherville/Dyer Fire Department. He's on both. Captain Scott Hemrick is the Dyer Fire Department, but he's not here tonight. He also works in Hammond. And then I need Officer Burton. He's one of our school resource officers. This is Cherville Police Department. Corporal Jerry Patrick, who's not here today, and then, of course, myself as one of the instructors. As instructors, we teach individuals to save lives from severe trauma and from unfortunate events that may cause severe bleeding. And the training consists of packing wound, gauze, tourniquets, and with that, we have 20 kits at the high school installed already. We have 10 at all the middle schools, and then we have 5 at every elementary school. So with that being said, you know, with the kits already on our walls, we need to train our staff. And so far to date, we've taken, what, 2 months? I think it is? Yes. Yeah, 2 months. And we have trained over 131 staff members throughout the corporation. So that's huge. And that's just phase 1. And that's just phase 1. And usually the high school, you know, obviously we'll need more, but right now they have 20 staff members trained, middle schools 10 to 13, so it just depends on the class size, and then 9 to 12 for each elementary school, so for the total of 131. And the future of this program is to continue and train everybody, because if you are trained in Stop the Bleed, you're 95% more likely to use in case of a trauma. And so we'll additionally add staff members, transportation, and central office for phase 2, and then we'll go from there as it kind of goes on. So, but I'm proud of our school corporation for being ahead of the curve when it comes to Stop the Bleed program. A lot of school districts are, you know, just starting off, and we're way ahead. And this type of training will help save lives by having 131 staff members now certified, which places us in a great position to make an impact on the students, teachers, and our corporation. So I'd like to thank these guys. They've done a great job in the Stop the Bleed program. So thank you.
And again, I think it's a wonderful example of how good our police and fire stations are to us, that they come to help us with that. I did forget to mention that we have many of our elementary principals here also to welcome their new colleagues. So they're right across there. Thank you.
Thank you.
And before we go on, we want to thank the Bibbage staff and our new principal for coming out, but you don't have to stay for the remainder of the meeting. If you have other things you need to get to, you're certainly welcome to stay. But you don't, you know, this is a good time for you to depart if you want to. But thanks for coming out. Well, thank you for coming out.
In the room, please. In the room, please. Yes. Exit B instead of A. All right, now we'll move on to our Director of Primary Education, Dr. Bracy.
Good evening. I don't have any field trip requests tonight, but I do come before you seeking your approval for the professional leave request you have received in your packets.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Mrs. Kelly. Second by Mr. Marshall. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to our Director of Secondary Education, Mrs. Castaneda.
Thank you. For my first item this evening, I am seeking your approval for the professional leave request that you received.
Move to, move to approve the professional leave request.
We have a motion by Dr. Medlin and a second by Mr. Marshall. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And for my second item, I am seeking your approval for the field trip request as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Marshall, and I will second that. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion passes. Thank you.
And then for my final item, I'm actually going to bring up our wonderful high school principal, Erin Novak, and she is going to give you an update. There is a slight typo. This should be an update on advanced placement. So tonight what we're looking at is our advanced placement program, as well as our results in comparison to previous years, as well as to the state. There should be a copy at your seat, but if you want to come down to view the screen, that's fine too.
All right, thank you, Sarah. President Suze, Lake Central School Board, Dr. Veraco, district administrators, thank you for allowing me to speak tonight and talk to you about AP exam testing and our analysis, and basically an opportunity to brag about our students, our teachers, and great things happening at our school. I also thought it was great that the Blitz Club passed out popcorn for my presentation, so please feel free to indulge. So I just wanted to start with some of the basic information about AP testing, if it's new to some people. At our high school right now, we have 20 AP courses offered. They're all on this screen. A student doesn't necessarily have to be enrolled in a course to take an AP exam if they feel that they are prepared to take that AP exam. So for example, if they're a native speaker of a language, we've had native speakers in Spanish and Chinese take the AP exams and do quite well on those. So these are the courses that we offer at the school. We have quite a selection. One of the things that people always say, they're concerned about the size of Lake Central, and I always say it's one of our benefits, and this is the reason why, is because we are able to offer such a deep selection of advanced placement courses, along with many other courses as well. So AP exams are scored on a scale of 1 to 5. There's many questions on the test. It's a regular standardized test similar to ISTEP, PSAT, SAT. It is a College Board exam. So they take the number of questions that that student has gotten correct and formulate that into a score of 1 through 5. Anything 3 or above in the state of Indiana is awarded as credit automatically at any of our state's public institutions. So IU, Purdue, Ball State, Indiana State, any public institution. Private institutions will award credit, but they also can come up with their own stipulations as well. And this isn't just an Indiana thing, it's a nationwide. The scores can be awarded nationwide as well. So I know there's a lot of information on this screen, which is why I made you some hard copies, so it might be easier to look at your hard copy when we're talking about this screen. I wanted to put it all in one location. So these are all the exams from 2021, and this is our score summary. So up at the top in the blue row, you see scored 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and in the left-hand, you can see the name of the exam. And you can see how many students earned a 1, how many students earned a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. So if you remember on the previous screen, I said the goal is that they want to score a 3 or above, because that way they're going to be earning the college credit. So you can focus your attention on the columns 3, 4, and 5, and you can see that we have quite a few students that are earning college credit by taking these courses, taking the exams, and scoring quite well on them. If they score a 1 and 2, they do have the option. They could take the exam again. But many of our students do quite well right from the get-go. So all in comparison to what? So this is the Indiana state average for AP exams. If you can focus your attention on the lighter blue columns, you can see that is the breakdown of how many exams scored a 3, 4, or 5. So this is the state of Indiana. This isn't just Lake Central. This is the state of Indiana. So you can see a lot of them are 35, 38, 39, 40, 41. That's the performance for the entire state. And now this is where we really have a proud moment when we look at just Lake Central numbers. And this is a 5-year analysis. So you can go back to 2017 up to 2022. The tests take place in May, so they have not taken the test yet in 2022. But if you look at our percentage of students with a 3 or above, we're knocking it out of the park in comparison to the state. So if you look, we have at least a 10% difference, a 10% increase in comparison to the state, all the way up to about a 30% difference. So our Lake Central students are scoring very well on these AP exams. So I gave you a lot of data just in general. With 20 AP courses being offered, we have an analysis of all of those exams. So I wanted to pick 2 of them to highlight for you this evening. So the first one that I broke down is AP Human Geography. And the reason why I selected this one is, first of all, it's the biggest exam that we offer, and it's also taken by freshmen. Other grades can take it as well, but it's a predominantly freshman course. So if you look at the data here, down at the bottom, scores 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If going back to 2017, you can see that we had quite a large column of students scoring a 1, and what you want to see is that trend decrease across the years. So I think they did a pretty good job. Going from 2017 to 2018, those students scoring a 1 definitely decreased. It did go up a little bit again in 2019, but if you also look at the data showing the scores 3, 4, and 5, you also see that those grew pretty significantly as well. And that's what we want to see, is that the scores of the 1s and 2s, those are going to happen. Some students are not going to be great test takers. It does happen. But you can also see that those 3s, 4s, and 5s were growing throughout the years as well. You can see a little bit of a dip in regards to COVID and the pandemic, and that's not just a Lake Central statistic. In the state of Indiana, they reported about a 7% decrease in the amount of exams taken, and they did see a dip in the performance as well. So it's not just a Lake Central thing. I think you're going to see that in a lot of school statistics over the next probably, I would say, 3 to 5 years. You're going to see the pandemic kind of weighing out in many school statistics. But if you focus on 2021, you can see that those numbers have risen again. So that's a great trend. That's a great statistic right there. So the next test that I broke apart was AP Calculus AB. And the reason why I picked this one is because it's predominantly taken by seniors. We do have a good handful of juniors that take this test as well. And I also wanted to compare the social studies test, the human geography, with the math, kind of different side brain, I guess. So you can see in this data, kind of the same thing. You want to see those scores of 1s and 2s shrinking as the years go on, and those scores of 3, 4, and 5 becoming more elevated. And again, you do see kind of a dip in 2020, but 2021, we are rebounding and our kids are doing great. So again, great news when you look at their performance on these tests. So the AP College Board also classifies their top scores as AP Scholars. So there's 3 different levels of distinction. The first one is just an AP Scholar, and I shouldn't say just, it's an incredible distinction for these students. An AP Scholar is defined, it's granted to students who receive scores of 3 or higher on 3 or more AP exams. And this isn't just in one sitting in one school year. This is cumulative throughout their 4 years of high school. The next level of distinction is an AP Scholar with Honor, and that's granted to students who receive an average score of at least 3.25 on all of their exams taken, and scores of 3 or higher on 4 or more of these exams. So with each level of distinction, the stakes are a little higher, and The final one is an AP Scholar with distinction. That's granted to students who receive an average score of at least 3.5 on all of their exams taken throughout their 4 years, and scores of 3 or higher on 5 or more of these exams. So what does that mean for Lake Central? Again, another moment to shine. Our students are doing phenomenal. We have 80 students, just in 2021, we had 80 students earn that distinction of being an AP Scholar. We had 41 students earn this distinction of being an AP Scholar with honor, and then 48 students with the AP Scholar with distinction. So that, in the right-hand column, that all took place in 2021, and then that's our analysis of 2021. Remember, they can earn these distinctions throughout their 4 years, so that's what that pie chart illustrates, is the breakdown of those students with those distinctions. So again, our students are doing an incredible job. They are knocking it out of the park with their AP tests. One thing that I did want to share with everybody is AP Potential. This is kind of a cool trick. I shouldn't call it a trick, but more of a tool that allows schools the ability to see which students have the potential of earning a 3 or higher on an AP exam. And this is all based on their PSAT scores. So in our corporation, they're taking the PSAT in grade 8, grade 9, and grade 10. So we use those scores as predictors. They will send us information that we can break down into a spreadsheet and see which kids fall into those categories that they could potentially earn a 3 or higher on those exams. So this was taken from the College Board site. They say there's moderate to strong correlations between PSAT scores and AP exam results. Again, they're all College Board exams, so they know by their scores on these PSAT tests if they're going to be a good candidate for AP courses. So this is what it looks like on our end when we take that data and we look at it. So what I was able to do, I took out the students' names and their distinguishing characteristics. I left their zip code, their gender, and their grade. And then you can see all of the courses that we offer at the high school. And the Ys mean that they would qualify as one of those students that could potentially earn a 3 or higher on their AP exam. So just a cursory look at this data. You see one column that has mostly Ys in it. Computer science principles, to me, I thought that was amazing. I thought that was really interesting that we have that many students in our building, in our school, that have the ability to do that well on a computer science College Board exam. So to me, that's very impressive. The other column that has a lot of Ys is the English language. That one's taken primarily the junior year. So you can see a lot of our students will qualify in that as well. But the main thing, you look at that screen, you see a lot of Ys, so that's a lot of good data, that's a lot of good information. Our counselors have access to that. Our AP teachers have access to this information so that they can reach out to these students, they can recruit. Our freshman teachers that teach AP Human Geography, they do a great job of going over to the middle schools, talking about their classes and getting students interested in that. So we've got a lot of great information. Our counselors, our teachers are doing a great job of using that information as well. And then my last slide is just our AP teachers at Lake Central High School. Mr. Frederick's missing from this picture. I believe he's the only one that was missing. But again, a lot of the credit goes to them. Of course, our students who work hard, study hard, and prepare for these, but these are the backbone of our AP program, and I just wanted to give them a shout out because they're great educators. They do a lot of extra training to be an AP teacher, a lot of conferences they go to, workshops. Many of them also serve as a grader of exams as well. And that's it. If anyone has any questions. Yeah.
Aaron, over the years, we've had very strong foreign language programs. Is there any particular reason foreign language is not classified in the AP category?
So what we are looking at doing is adding world language as a dual credit option. We're going to look and see what our students might want. Are they going to want more of a dual credit option? Is AP something that they might look more into? We're going to be
okay.
looking and talking with our teachers. We do have 2 teachers right now who are working on earning credentials to teach dual credit.
Right.
And offer that at the high
So
school
the
as
dual
well.
credit would be activated. I've known a number of students go off to college, university, and just pass right through the classes, get credit for it.
Right.
That's for a dual credit situation when they enroll?
It's a partnership with some of our local universities.
Okay, all right, very good.
Yep. So we are looking into more options in our world language department. Again, like I said earlier, if they feel that they're very strong in those skills, they can take the test without being in the course. That's a small number, but I would like to boost that number in world language as well. Any other questions?
No?
All
Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to our Director of Business Services, Mr. James.
Thank you. The only item I have for tonight is to seek your approval for the donations that were included in your board packet.
Move to approve.
We have a motion?
Second?
We have a second. Can I just ask you, do you know what the G3 Foundation?
I've just learned of the G3 Foundation this week when this donation came in. It is, all I really know about it is it was formed in 2019. I'm not sure where the funding comes from, but it is a local foundation that gives money to first responders, to educators, and to community service organizations. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to our public comments. We have no public comments this evening, so we'll move right into our board comments and consideration of future agenda items. Mr. Marshall?
I have nothing in particular this evening, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kelly?
Just a couple things I wanted to mention. First time in 18 years, the Lake Central Boys Swimming had won sectionals, so. Winter Band and Guard also had great showings at their competitions recently. So congratulations.
It's good to hear. Dr. Medlin?
I'd like to thank the administrators and teachers who have been working to fight against House Bill 1134 and other like bills. It seems like a lot of their work has made a difference in the minds of the legislators, and I appreciate their hard work in that regard. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, and I just have a couple things. I just want to give a shout out to the 3 wrestlers that went to state. Johnny Cortez took 4th in his weight class. I believe there were 3 students that advanced to the National Merit Scholarship Final, so congratulations to those 3. And you have to have the highest PSAT score, right? Is that how you get into that? Okay, great, so good luck to them. And last week, Dr. Malcolm made a comment about transcribing meeting minutes, and I just wanted to say thank you to Ms. Nowacki for transcribing those words, word for word, on each and every week's meeting minutes. So I appreciate you taking the time doing that, and thank you. And with that, we'll turn it over to Dr. Varacco for board calendar or future activities.
Yeah, so we are back here in 2 weeks, and that's all I have for now. Keep checking the calendar for school activities. As things start opening up, we may start having more than just what's currently scheduled. Keep your eyes peeled. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Mr. Marshall. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.